Usually that's what it is.
Okay, well, we're all set.
Let me know if it's too chilly in here for you or too stuffy. Right for the right balance.
Oh, good.
Now this is for a video that you're going to do?
Yeah, I'm just, we're set. I might just transcribe it. I'm not sure.
Whatever you do it is fine. Your carte blanche on the safe statement.
Thank you.
What's on already?
It's on already?
Okay.
Well, today's Friday.
Can you be heard in that little voice?
Yeah, it's very sensitive.
Wow.
So,
I had played with the idea 10 years ago of getting a video camera so that I could take myself in sexual acts with a particular friend and then replay for the eroticism. I never did follow through. The idea was very intriguing. You're blushing.
I am?
Or so it seems to me.
Okay. I just came from a meeting. I think there are a lot of people who would like to see you. And a couple of people said, oh yeah, well, I haven't seen Hal for a while.
You sure that's can be picked up? It's I know having difficulty hearing you.
Okay. Some people were saying that they were hoping they could see you at the party tomorrow, and I didn't say anything about it.
Right.
Anyway. But people are concerned about you. I guess, might as well start with the basics, which is who you are, when you were born.
My name is Hal Bramson. I was born in New York City in 1932. That makes me 62 years old. And I'm dying. And dying is soon. The end process of the dying is soon.
You're near the final stage.
I'm near the final stage.
We could say that you're at death's door.
I'm at death's door and that I've made a decision to take my life sooner rather than let the process unfold.
I think that I'm mostly interested in how you got to where you are now, as far as the patterns that you've seen in your life, the patterns that you've been repeating, and what you've seen as far as that goes. Especially the emotional patterns. Right now, how are you feeling about what's about to happen?
I have a lot of serenity and acceptance. I'm at peace with my decision. I have no reservations about the decision. I have concerns that my stomach will be in good shape on the day that I've chosen. My stomach is upset today, and I've decided that if my stomach is reasonably upset without being acute distress, I will take the action and let go of the outcome. I'll swallow the pills. I'll take the vodka. I'll take the anti-nausea drugs as well. And whatever will happen, will happen. I'm not going to prolong the process.
Are you in a lot of pain?
I had some serious pain a couple of hours ago, and I decided not to take codeine. Codeine is a pain reliever that works and also creates nausea as a side effect. So I postponed taking the codeine and the pain passed. So that's my intention on the day and the day before, so as to minimize the possibility of stomach distress and nausea. And I'm going to start today to take the anti-nausea compazine as a prophylactic. I've only been taking it when I experienced the nausea. Now I'm going to take it in advance so as to forestall the nausea. which is not to say that I won't take codeine should pain be severe and protracted. I'll take the codeine with the anti-nausea simultaneously.
You haven't gotten to the morphine stage yet?
No, that's the end stage. There's a hierarchy, there's a ladder.
Okay. I just want to ask you about some of your accomplishments, what you see as your biggest accomplishments. I know that you were one of the founders of ACT UP.
No,
You were at the founding meeting.
no. There is a difference between being a co-founder and being a founding member. A founding member is any one of among 100 people who were at the first meeting.
So you're one of 100.
I was one of 100. I was at the first meeting not to hear Larry Kramer. I was there to hear Nora Ephron, a writer. And I was with two friends and we were seated in the front row. We had all read one or two of her books. We wanted to hear her. And she couldn't make it and she asked Larry Kramer to speak for her at the center, community center. And much to our surprise, Larry Kramer spoke and gave the Tuesday evening, the second Tuesday series the center has of writers, men and women of the arts. And he was impassioned. I had always had a concern about the disease and the lack of governmental attention to it. And I was working in isolation. And the meeting was called 2 nights later, and I attended it. And I was at the first ACT UP demonstration, and at a great many others. I'm most proud of going to Washington on June 1st, 1987 for the first AIDS demonstration outside the White House. 2 busloads from New York, and I was afraid. I was afraid because I didn't want to get arrested. I was a school teacher. I didn't want to risk my job. I didn't know what the consequences would be. And more so, I was afraid of the police. The Washington police were described to us as a Southern police force. And I was afraid of the brutality. And I sought some counsel. Did a lot of thinking before I committed. I knew it would be easier to go than not to go. And it was effortless to go. I was pleased that I was there. And I remained active in ACT UP for 4 years. It increasingly became a drug from which I could not extricate myself. Specifically, one of the first times I spoke at a meeting, these hundreds of people, and at the ACT UP Monday night meeting, somebody whom I had tremendous respect, who was a writer, came over to me and said, "Hal, you're a really good speaker." Well, that was all that I needed to hear. And it brought out all the qualities in me that had been unpalatable. I can talk about the had been at another time. But if you'd like, I am going to have to get myself some water. Okay? So just please excuse.
Looks like root beer.
Yes. I find water upsets my stomach.
Uh-huh.
And I'm running out of ginger ale. And I like root beer. And it's diet root beer, because I really had room for only one meal a day, and I had a muffin this morning, and I'm meeting friends for an early dinner tonight, and I just don't like it when I push the food around on the plate. So I like to monitor how much my intake during the day, even to having diet and soda. Well, what happened is, I got the acclaim from the crowd. This is a megalomania, but I'm like Leon Trotsky and Lenin, rousing the masses. I had that aspect. And then I became terrified of speaking. Because how can I live up to the expectation of my giving a rousing talk after that compliment? So I began to think twice before I would speak at an ACT UP meeting. And I did speak, and I would always listen for the applause. I would always measure the amount of applause I was getting. So I had multiple motivations for being an actor. Justifiable anger at a government that I considered practicing a policy of genocide. And there was no doubt in my mind that had any other group within the population been affected, tennis players, Christians, middle-class people, graduates of Swarthmore and Harvard, attention would have been given to the disease as it had been given to Legionnaire's disease when veterans were affected at a hotel in Philadelphia. And the government marshaled all its resources, and here the years were going by, and nothing was being done. I can engage in some megalomania and talk about my experience. Well, maybe it's not megalomania. Maybe it's telling the truth about my experience. But I had one particular friend who said, "Hal, you were the Paul Revere among us, and you saved lives," because I started to tell my friends in 1981 and 1982, something's going on, and you have to alter your sexual practices. In 1982, I became anonymous with a man with a quiet industry. I remember, I'm not making this up. I'll tell you that in 1982, at a meeting at the Gay Switchboard, which I was a volunteer, I urged them to give health warnings over the telephone, not in regard to this disease of unknown origin, but in regard to amoebiasis and intestinal parasites. In that great many people were not aware of how this disease was being spread. The newspapers made a report that 50 to 60% of the gay men in New York City were infected. Half the infected people were symptom-free and were carriers. And the disease could be spread secondarily. One hand touching an asshole, putting his hand on a third person's penis, and the fourth person going down on that penis. That person has amoebiasis, Giardia. Any one of a dozen intestinal diseases. And the best I could get from the Gay Switchboard group was that they would end the conversation with the caller by saying, "Are you aware of the health crisis?" And nothing else. And if the caller said yes, no other information would be given out. I'm saying people are coming in from out of town. Large numbers of married people are coming in from out of town. It's 1982, summer. Large numbers of people are coming in from out of town. They're married. They're from small towns. They don't know from amoebiasis. And they're calling for the names of bathhouses and back rooms, and we're giving them back rooms, and we're giving locations, and they're going to get infected there. And then in 1983, I said we have to give warnings about the dying that's going on. Forms of sex are dangerous. The virus had not been isolated then. This was before the French announced that they've isolated a virus which they believe to be the cause of this gay-related immune deficiency.
Right.
And I was told at the switchboard, this is a membership meeting. Anyone who attends a monthly meeting is a member, can vote. And only a small number attended. I think there were about 35 that only attended this meeting. Because I remember the vote was 28-7 against me. And the arguments that were given against me is, well, we don't know what the cause of this disease is. No cause has been established. We don't know how it's being spread. That was one, ostriches. And the second argument used against me was civil liberties. We are not in the business of telling people what they can do or what they can't do. As God is my witness, I said that we don't let people know who call us. We don't let people know what's going on. And we at the switchboard have blood on our hands. I said that.